not in Kansas anymore.
You have my curiosity.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
The Force will be with you. Assemble.
Welcome back to Get Real, the podcast where we get real about all of our favourite pop culture films and TV shows. And with me, as always, is my co-host, my absolutely fucking diabolical, translucent, superpowered villain co-host, Sam, and also my name's Chris as well.
From the deep. I think we
Sam
managed
from
to
the
get,
deep.
I think we managed to get them all in there.
We miss Queen Maeve off.
Oh, yeah, Minerva.
Starlight, Black Noir. We missed a few out, but if you hadn't guessed by now, we're talking about The Boys.
The Boys.
We're gonna catch up and do like a season 1 roundup, and then obviously we're 2-3 weeks away, I think, from the time of this coming out. We're 2 weeks away from season 2 coming out.
Yeah, you've got to make sure you say it right, though. It's The Boys.
The Boys.
Got to say it somehow. You got to say it somehow.
The Boys.
And it's got to be in a weird way, yeah. So you also missed the biggest superhero, Huey Campbell. You missed him off, because he's obviously a massive superhero in this whole thing, isn't he? In a way.
I prefer Billy Butcher.
Billy Butcher. No, he is a hero, or is he a villain?
He is an anti-hero. He's just Punisher straight up.
Yeah. There were a bit of news and stuff from over the last week since we last sat down and did this. I don't know whether you've took the time to have a little look or watch any trailers.
I've had some stuff come into my head and then I've just forgot about it instantly. So
okay.
I literally thought yesterday, because we nearly recorded this yesterday, I was like, right, okay. And then I just completely forgot to actually remember any of it.
No. Well, that's fine. I'll get us started. And then there's a trailer that we need to talk about today, because we've not spoke about it, but it looks pretty good. First thing is, we spoke a little bit the other week about how Tron 3 was going to be a thing, and how there was a particular composer and director coming back to do it. And Jared Leto took to Instagram to make it all official, so he will be starring in the new Tron film, and it will be happening. So basically, the news is the news that we spoke about 2 weeks ago is correct. in a nutshell. So, are you excited
Excellent.
for that? What kind of role
definitely,
do you think someone like Jared Leto will play in Tron? Do you reckon it's going to be similar to what he did in Blade Runner, or do you reckon he may be the full protagonist? Or
see, like, he was good in Blade Runner, but he wasn't in it nearly enough.
No.
For like how important his character should have been, like he was hardly in it. So I feel like it's gonna be like maybe a similar sort of role. He might be taking on like pseudo like Jeff Bridges type character from the Tron franchise. He played. Oh, my mind's gone blank.
Not a clue, because I've still not seen Tron.
Well, he played a version of Clue. I knew that version. I just can't remember what his main character is. So it's not that he's not a Clue. He is a Clue. Kevin Flynn. That's the one. I was thinking of Sam Flynn, which is his son. So
okay.
A Kevin Flynn, probably more like Clue. So the computerized version of him. That's what I imagine Jared Leto playing more of.
Yeah.
So he'd probably be an antagonist. He seems to be playing a lot of antagonists lately.
Yeah, I mean, he's the first confirmed actor that we've got for the film. So it's almost a bit like, he leads the announcement, and is he going to be is he going to be the face of it, so to speak? And yeah, I think it's been a while since we've seen Jared Leto really lead anything. I know we've had him in stuff, but it's been a while since we've had him lead a film. Because obviously, I mean, he didn't really lead Blade Runner, he didn't really lead Suicide Squad. And I think since both of those films, I don't think he's done very much cinematically, apart from Morbius, which we haven't seen yet. So
I forgot that was even a film for a minute, considering we had a whole episode near enough about it.
I forgot a lot of things were even a film over the last, for 4 months? 3-4 months?
Films that should have come out, but haven't come out.
Yeah, literally.
But he has done other stuff, but it's been smaller projects. It's not been like AAA blockbusters. I know he's been doing some stuff with Netflix and Ting.
And his 30 Seconds to Mars and
Yeah.
and all that business.
Have you got any more news then?
There was a bit of something I wanted to talk to you about. It's actually news from July. Funnily enough, the day we're recording this, an entire month ago, but we just never spoke about it. And
Okay.
I think it's something that's worth covering because we've not covered it on the podcast. But have you finished the Clone Wars? Didn't you?
No, I've actually got a couple episodes left, but I'm near enough there.
Yeah. So you've not seen the last. Have you seen the Bad Batch?
Yeah.
So we didn't.
Yeah. Oh, I know this news. Yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't speak about how in 2021 that Disney Plus will be getting a new series that basically focuses on the Bad Batch. It's going to be called Star Wars: The Bad Batch, and it's all about that group of clone troopers from the Clone Wars who are a little bit different. So each possess like a singular, exceptional skill that makes them really different. And they're obviously, a little bit genetically different as well. But really excited because we all know how I felt about the Clone Wars from all the Star Wars episodes that we had. We do love Star Wars. Yeah, I feel very strongly about it. But I'm really excited because if it's anything like the production quality of the final few episodes of the final season, then we're in no doubt in for something that's going to be sick.
Oh, yeah. Like, the Bad Batch was a really cool concept, but I thought, when I was watching it, I was like, this seems like a really weird thing to just bring in like, the final season and just be like, oh, yeah, we've got 2 episodes with these proper bizarre, wrong clone troopers that we're going to do nothing else with and you've never heard of before, but here they are, that in it for 2 seconds and then they're going to play no part in the rest of the franchise. I was like, it's a really weird thing to spend 2 episodes on in your final season.
Yeah, do you reckon they maybe had them in there knowing that they would have plans for that group in particular for a Disney Plus series? Because it seems kind of a bit weird for something like that to be planned in advance, but you're right, we didn't get to see a lot of it.
We know how the Star Wars writers' room sort of works, and they are planning multiple things way in advance. They even plan things that doesn't end up happening. So I've got a feeling that they had this cool idea for a ragtag bunch of clone troopers, and they would do a Republic Commando-esque sort of animated show. And maybe they were oh, we've got a slot that we need to fill. We would just put fives and all them lot in it. So why not put the Bad Batch into it, bring them in earlier? So I reckon they did have it planned out in advance that they were going to have their own series.
Yeah, do you reckon that's
especially
what it's
the way
be?
that the series ended, their arc ended as well.
Yeah, true, very true. Because it ends with them. I can't remember how it ends in the Clone Wars. Spoilers for Clone Wars for that one episode, but I can't remember how it finishes.
Which is the clone from Fives' team that gets taken? Is it Echo?
I think it's Echo.
Echo is half machine at that point, isn't he? And he goes with the Bad Batch at the end of those 2 episodes to then join the Bad Batch.
Yes, he does. He's all weirded out from being in that tube, isn't he? Yeah. And he's I remember, yeah. Do you reckon it'll take place before or after? Because it seems like a bit of a weird one to follow up with.
Yeah, because it is getting towards the end of the Clone Wars, isn't it? It depends whether they've got that chip in the brain or not. They could be just sort of a mercenary squad after the Clone Wars. They could have a couple seasons before and then maybe Echo joins them, maybe.
Interesting.
I'm not entirely sure.
Interesting.
They could do so many things. They jump around in that timeline so much. It could literally be so many things.
But more Star Wars is always a good Star Wars.
More Star Wars is good Star Wars.
And then the last little thing that we didn't talk about, again, from around the similar kind of time was, you know what, we may have spoke about this, but did we talk about the new trilogy that was confirmed?
I'm not sure if we spoke about it on the podcast.
Yeah, or whether we spoke about it away from the podcast.
I feel like we did, because we spoke about, was this the Rian Johnson one, or is this the one from the Game of Thrones guys. Benioff and Weiss.
Maybe we did. Maybe we did.
Is it Benioff and Weiss?
Yeah. It is Benioff and Weiss, yeah. I think maybe we did then. But I just found the dates. So 2023, 2025, and 2027.
We did, because we talked, it's in between the Avatar releases, isn't it?
It is. We did definitely speak about it.
This is like a whole deja vu thing. It's just like, no, I don't think we did. And then as soon as we start doing it, it's like, oh my God, I
imagine
remember everything.
If we were just doing Groundhog Day, but it was episodes of the podcast. And just reliving this same episode.
Welcome back to the episode about Parasite, guys. We're going to talk about Parasite for 2 hours because it's an amazing film that I really need to rewatch.
Those first 3 episodes of Snowpiercer, yeah.
That full season's out now, isn't it? Is it the full season stuff?
It's been out for a while, to be fair.
Because I haven't got past episode 5, I don't think. And apparently it started to get really good towards the end of the season, and I haven't finished it, but I think I should definitely finish it.
So it's been out for a while. But it is really good because I finished it, and I think we were talking off pod the other day about how I finished it, and I said it was definitely worth a watch, and it is 100% worth a watch because when we spoke about it, it kind of was a little bit felt a little bit slow in places, and we were happy and excited about it, but I think we were still a little bit hesitant about how good it was going to get, I think. But
yeah,
it does turn out to be a really good series, and I think it's definitely worth sticking with it. So I'd definitely encourage you to go watch it. But yeah, it's pretty good, man. It's pretty good.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out then. That's our roundup review. I might tell you my thoughts on it in a week or so if I get a chance to finish it.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's me done with news.
Okay.
Can you guess the trailer that I'm going to talk to you about?
Is it the one that I've just lined up? Is it The Devil All the Time?
It is The Devil All the Time.
Ah, yes! Because I didn't speak to you about this. I meant to send you the link to it yesterday when I saw it.
No.
And then I forgot.
One step ahead, lad. It's pretty good.
Oh, man, this looks good. So I literally just got up
good.
the Wikipedia page to get the premise of the novel, the film up. It's based off a novel.
Yeah, it looks pretty sick. So in a eggshell kind of roundup of what this could be about.
Do you want me to read the premise off for you?
Yeah, go on. If you've got the official premise, it's probably better than Sam's description of it.
Because I was struggling to figure out what the plot was. Like, I had rough guesses, but because it jumps around in, like, at least 2 different timelines, I was like, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
So, in Knockemstiff, Ohio, and the neighbouring backwoods, sinister characters, an unholy preacher, played by Robert Pattinson, a twisted couple, played by Jason Clarke and Riley Keough, a crooked sheriff, played by Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier himself, converge around young Arvin Russell, played by Tom Holland. I'm just like staring at names and can't figure out how to say names today. As he fights the evil forces that threaten him and his family. So basically, what I got was his dad served in the war, did some really shitty things, came home from the war, did some even shittier things, and ended up being killed. So he was an orphan, and then it's him tackling faith and people's perception of him based off his father and everything like that, and is it the sins of the father or that sort of thing? Is he going to repeat the same things that his dad did? And a really sinister, like, Robert Pattinson Reverend, which seems really cool. That's a really cool character for him.
Yeah, the accent that he puts on is absolutely just awesome. It's like, yeah, I was really excited about this. I didn't get the idea that Sebastian Stan was playing a corrupt police officer from watching that trailer. I didn't get that vibe.
Except for the fact that he's constantly holding guns to people. I mean, and has a bit of a crazy look in his eye.
I mean, yeah, but it looks like obviously the Robert Pattinson's the bad guy, and it looks like maybe he's got suspicions against him. I mean, I only watched it the once, so I didn't take the time to like properly read in or whatever, or go any further than that. But in terms of something different with Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, and Sebastian Stan, and the guy who was in Terminator,
Jason Clarke.
Jason Clarke, he's really good as well.
Terminator Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis. Genesis. Genesis.
Gynesis.
Gynecologist. Terminator gynecologist. Oh, jeez.
That guy's definitely not pro-life, let me tell you something.
Jesus. But yeah, no, I think it looks really good. When does it come out? When's it released?
I think it's at the 4th of September, I think, but it says the 16th on Wikipedia, but I don't entirely believe that. I'm pretty sure it said the 4th.
The Devil All the Time. 16th
also,
of
it's got Bill Skarsgård in it. He's playing Tom Holland's dad by the sounds of it.
Yeah. I think I saw a comment at the top of the YouTube video. You've got Spider-Man, the Batman, It the Clown, and something else. And it was just like, what? Winter Soldier.
Just to add more MCU, like, nerd pop culture things into the zeitgeist of this film, producing it is Jake Gyllenhaal. And also, do you know who was in? I'm going to speculate here. I'm not entirely sure what role he was up for, but it was originally announced that Chris Evans was going to be in this film. I would say he would either play Tom Holland's dad or maybe Sebastian Stan's character.
Okay.
Chris Evans was meant to be in it, but he seems like the thing was that he was in talks to star in it, and then he doesn't seem to be anywhere on the listing. So unless he makes a surprise appearance in it, and we just don't know who he's playing yet.
Yeah, maybe. Or he may just be really busy with all the pre-production for The Grey Man, maybe.
Yeah. Well, this shot and wrapped well over a year ago.
Okay.
So it was 2018 he was rumoured to be in it.
May have been Knives Out? I don't know.
It probably would have been Knives Out, yeah.
Chris, did you know that Venom Let There Be Carnage is now June 2021? I don't think it's been delayed, but I didn't realise it was that far away.
Wasn't it meant to originally have been like end of this year, sort of around Halloweenish time?
Yeah.
And then it got postponed, but we didn't know when to because of all the COVID stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's about right. I don't think we've had... Have we had a trailer for this yet? Or have we just had a teaser? Or have we had anything for the new Venom film? I don't think we have.
No, we had the name teaser and we've had all the set photos, haven't we?
Yeah, because it feels like
all the unofficial set photos.
Feels like forever ago since we had anything to do with that. Yeah. And considering we saw that crazy photo of Woody Harrelson with his ginger wig on, I was
tidal
really...
wave fringe.
Yeah, I was really excited. I didn't realise Stephen Graham's going to be in that.
Yeah, but I'm not sure who he's playing.
No, but Stephen Graham is a really popular British actor. And
he's a scooser.
He's a scouser, which is if you're not from England, it's Liverpool.
A scouser.
You talk a little bit. He's from Kirkby.
From Kirby?
Which isn't in Liverpool, it's in Oh, no, never mind.
Shush, Sam.
It was considered part of Lancashire. There you go. Originally.
Yeah, and then it became part of Merseyside.
Before it became part of Merseyside, yeah. So there you go. Well, this is a film, accent, pop culture, film and TV podcast, Chris. So
I mean, he was also in Hellboy, and this
also
is Liverpool won the league, so fuck everyone else. You know what I mean? One last thing about The Devil All the Time, because the director's name like rang a bell with me, but I didn't know where from. It's Antonio Campos. Yeah, I was right the first time. Don't know why I doubted myself. I got that one right, but I stuttered over fucking Tom Holland.
First team.
Antonio Campos. He directed Martha Marcy May Marlene with Elizabeth Olsen, which is an amazing film. If you haven't seen that, like, that's a cracking film.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on any streaming services. I might lend it to you at some point in time. I've got the Blu-ray somewhere in one of my boxes here from moving. That's a great film. She joins a cult and stuff. It's cool.
Oh, yes. I have seen.
Do you remember it from 2011?
Yeah. Yes, I do actually remember. We've got the Fandom coming up as well. We spoke about that a little bit last week. But there's a full list of what we're going to be getting a look at. So there's a bit of Wonder Woman stuff, there's a bit of the Batman stuff, there's a lot a new Suicide Squad game stuff that we spoke about a little bit last time.
Yeah.
So that's something we could probably talk about next week.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yes. That happens from us recording this 8 days.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, we'll be
So-
definitely right. Yeah.
It'll be the episode after, I think.
Yeah, and then the episode after that could be The Boys. Could
Yeah,
be.
the boys.
We take it week by week here at Get Real. So
There's so much stuff happening all the time, and everything's up in the air. We just got to do what we got to do. Yeah. Apparently, there's a new name going to be announced for Zack Snyder's version of the Justice League, or it's going to be some variation of Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Okay.
From what I've heard so far.
I have a feeling we'll have quite a lot of trailers and stuff drop as well, because you've got obviously the Wonder Woman 1984, which will be a new sneak peek.
Yeah.
The Flash panel, don't get too excited. It's about the Flash TV series. There's a Black Lightning panel. There's a Pennyworth. Who's watched Pennyworth? Has anybody watched Pennyworth?
I don't know. I thought that got shadow cancelled after season 1. That's got Paloma Faith in it.
And then there is another Flash panel, which is introducing Flash panel, which has got Ezra Miller. So if that's not confusing enough, in the same day there's 2 Flash panels, so make sure you get the right one when you're watching it.
So are we actually gonna is Ezra Miller still on board? Because after the whole thing about him maybe decking a fan a couple months ago, things were oh, he's out.
Well, there's a Flash filmmakers conversation that's going on with Andy Muschietti and Barbara Muschietti. So they're the filmmakers.
Machete.
And it's going to have Ezra Miller and the screenwriter. The panel is literally only 10 minutes, but it's a rundown of the first ever Flash feature film.
Okay, so it's probably going to be a bit more casting and stuff, maybe?
Maybe
we'll get the Reverse Flash announced.
It's 10 minutes, so it's not very long. It may literally just be a title reveal, and it may just be news that, look, everyone, this is definitely happening. It's not been called off. This is the facts, and this is what you're going to get. Which would be nice, because we actually kind of need that, to be honest.
Well, when you think with the Hall H panels at Comic-Con as well, they only spend max 5-10 minutes ish on each film at the DC and Marvel panels where they got loads of films to announce.
Yeah.
So I reckon if it's something like that, it'll probably be, like you said, is it Flashpoint or not? Is it going to be called Flashpoint, or is it going to be called The Flash Flashpoint, or some shit like that? Probably a Reverse Flash casting. If it's going to go into production next year or later on this year, it's got to have a Reverse Flash casting by now. Yeah. Probably which members are going to return from previous films, etc. It'll be proper broad strokes. This is the stuff to get the headlines, because the fact that DC are having their own event, it just proves that they're going for headlines.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it will be an event that will get loads of headlines, because I reckon you'll get the first Suicide Squad trailer. You've got confirmation around Black Adam. You've got stuff for Shazam 2. And even there, they've already said that there'll be some surprise guests dropping in. You've got the name for that Suicide Squad game now. Kill the Justice League, it's called. So that's the official title of the game. And then there's the Batman panel, and there's
already some details about the Batman coming out. I'm not sure who spoke out about it, but it's talking about themes that it's going to delve into with Batman's mental health and stuff like that in cool, interesting ways and stuff.
Well, it says here, join the Batman filmmaker Matt Reeves and host Aisha Tyler for a 30-minute discussion of the upcoming film with a surprise or two for the fans. There's definitely a trailer.
Cool.
Definitely going to be a
teaser trailer.
Yeah. Well, let's get a look at Robert Pattinson's The Batman on screen. I think that we see a lot of photos, but I think when we first get him in motion, so to speak, I reckon it's really going to solidify it. I think that's going to be then people's full opinions will be a lot more cemented then around what they think about the new suit and stuff. But I think overall, I think it's been pretty positive anyway. We've spoken about it quite a lot. And then the Russo brothers also shared a photo of the upcoming Tom Holland film Cherry, which is the one where he robs the bank. but it looks like it's getting there. So I'm very excited to see it. It looks like an editing suite in our old uni. The photo that you look at, it looks like an editing suite, and then someone they're just on like a big old Zoom call with loads of people without the cameras
Brilliant.
on. And there's a little bit of quality hand sanitizer in the background as well. You know, you gotta be washing those fucking hands, haven't you?
Yeah, wash those dirty little mitts.
Anyway, so we're talking all about The Boys.
The boys.
The Boys this week. So we've got season 2 right around the corner, which both me and you are very, very excited for.
I'm jazzed.
And yeah, oh wow, I am really excited for this now, because going back and watching season 1 again, because it's been that long ago. When did season 1 come out, man? When did it drop?
Last year.
This time, July last year it was.
I was literally just thinking it was around this time last year, because I remember I hadn't been in my job that long, and I was watching it on the train.
It's wicked, man. And we decided to go back, and we never actually spoke about season 1 because we started this podcast 6 months after The Boys had come out. But we wanted to take a little bit of time this week to talk about our thoughts on it and just build a little bit of excitement for it.
Yeah, definitely. And some predictions of maybe where season 2 is going to go with certain plot lines and stuff.
Yeah, because we've got little bits and bobs that we've seen for season 2, but a lot of it doesn't address where season 1 leaves off as much. But yeah, I'm so excited. So, I mean, we both have spoken about this before. We really, really enjoyed The Boys. It's such a good TV series. We're going to go full spoilers from the beginning. So, I mean, I don't know what you're listening to this for, whether you should go check it out or not before you watch it, but just go check it out because it's really good and then come back.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. You don't have to ask the question, just the answer is yes.
And while you've got an Amazon Prime subscription, just order a load of shit and get same-day delivery like I did yesterday.
We should get a fucking affiliate link, Chris.
We should. Everybody, right? Search in the description of whatever you're listening to this for. There will be this is the ASMR version of this podcast, by the way. You'll see an Amazon affiliate links where maybe, perhaps, please, Amazon, please, Amazon, please, just go on there. Whatever you need from Amazon, even if it's just a £2 pencil sharpener, please.
Or if you want to go buy a box set for The Boys, I don't know whether that exists.
I don't think so. You could buy The Boys comic book, though.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Go buy a comic book.
Do you know what? Yesterday, I was watching recaps and stuff like this. I've not had a chance to go back and watch the full season again. But I forgot how much I enjoyed this. And then I watched videos about the differences between the comic book and the TV show, because I've read a little bit of the comic book, not enough to really form an opinion on it compared to the show. But it's so different. Like, they changed so much, and honestly, I think most of it's for the better. Like, it was Garth Ennis that wrote the comic book, I believe. And I normally really love his work. I recommended Preacher at the beginning of lockdown. That's another one of his properties. Like, I love his writing and everything like that. But The Boys is probably one of my least favorites from what I've read of his. From what little bit of that I've read. It's still amazing, but I feel like the show is just a better version of it.
Yeah. I think it's definitely the style of the show, and it's definitely the actors that just make it so good. And I think it's one of those things where it's pretty hard to get a comic like The Boys, I guess, and the thing, you know, the whole superhero aspect of it, but make it different enough to just the films and stuff that we get, where it's still going to engage you and you're not going to kind of get that feeling of fatigue, I guess. You don't want to feel fatigued through it. So, but I like how like a lot of the stuff has been quite similar to the comics. Like, a lot of the promotional stuff, like the posters and stuff, have been taken right out of the comic book.
Yeah, taking a lot of like the visual nods from it.
Yeah, but honestly, like, it's really, really, really carried by the cast. So, like, Carl Urban, Billy Butcher is just awesome in it. Just this British.
You're just waiting for every line to come out of his mouth. Like, He's so Aussie, it's hilarious.
Like, there's a bit in The Boys where he does like a big Spice Girls reference. And it's just incredible. And then that follows through. And then it's like the whole she could be a Spice Girl thing, like with
Frenchie.
With Kimiko, or I think that's her name.
Yeah,
Kimiko. Yeah. And it's just so good. And
she's just called the female in the comic books.
The female. Well, I like how the guy from one of the guys from Butcher's crew is just credited as Mother's Milk.
That's literally his name.
He's not credited with his name.
See, that's differences already, and this is what I think might lead into season 2. Like, in the comic book, Mother's Milk and the female have got superpowers already before joining the team.
Okay.
But in the show, it's only Kimiko. Also, this show is so gross, but in the funniest way possible. Like, they get away with shit that they just shouldn't get away with. And, like, in the comic books, I can't remember exactly how in the show it happened, but Kimiko gets her superpowers from eating, like, the corpses of dead superheroes. Like, she was, like, a kidnapped kid that, like, superheroes, I think, tried to save her and just ended up getting killed, so she just accidentally ate the corpses as a baby and got superpowers.
I don't think it shows that in season 1. But
no, I think it's hinted that she might be a bit of a cannibal, but it's definitely not shown.
Yeah. It's so, like, when you first watch this, you have no idea to what extent it's going to go until Huey's girlfriend gets absolutely destroyed by
A-Train. She gets
A-Train.
absolutely A-Trained.
Because you see bits, so like it starts off where there's the two kids chatting in the street, and then that van comes round the corner, and then it's Queen, Maeve, and Homelander who end up taking out the robbery van. But you see like bits of gore, so you see them like throw up blood and see him get punched in the air and fall back down and crash on top of a car. But it's that whole kind of thing, like, this is a little bit more graphic, but at the point where Robin gets absolutely fatalitied,
I just remember seeing it for the first time, and my reaction was like, holy shit, this is what's happening in this show. It's just like, because you don't quite see it to begin with until you start to see like a couple sprays of blood on Huey's face and then a jawbone go past.
But it comes out of nowhere. It just happens, and you're like, whoa. And then he looks down and he's still holding her arms. It's like, whoa.
So good.
It's so heavy, man. The gore in this is just ridiculous. But I guess like one of the things I really liked about The Boys season 1, which I hope that they carry on to season 2, it's just all the real life links to stuff, and just how I use the word grounded a lot, but it really is. Like when you watch Marvel films or you watch Marvel TV series, you're like, no way would these superheroes be as free to do what they want, and how it wouldn't impact everything else going on in the world.
Yeah. And
how they wouldn't have these same problems that other regular people do. And
I think that's something that they realised and they tried to start addressing in the MCU, didn't they? With like Civil War and stuff like that. They were like, oh shit, we've had no consequences for any of these previous films.
You think about it on like the big scale, but it's on the little scale. And that's like the things that The Boys really touches on. So just generally like people always wanting selfies all the time, and how they have to kind of put a face on because they represent somebody, and how that stuff wouldn't be, companies wouldn't take advantage of that commercially and sponsor stuff. And
exactly, it's all about the reputation. It's all about the paycheck at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes like some of the humor parts. Not only are the heroes really good, and like how they're portrayed is really, really good, but all those kind of bits and bobs, like how translucent is only invisible when he's naked, because it makes sense. It's like...
yeah. They did that in Fantastic Four, do you remember, with Jessica Alba? But they definitely only did that just so that they could have Jessica Alba in her underwear. And that's really troublesome, but then when they're doing it with translucent, it just seems funny.
Yeah, it is really funny. And just the whole, like, how he's, like, stood naked in the bathroom, and it's just creepy, but it's like, oh. And obviously this TV series touches on a lot of really serious bits at the same time, like the whole bit with Starfire when she first joins and the Deep makes that
Starlight.
move. Starlight, I'm thinking
Starfire
of the
from
DC
Teen Titans.
from Teen Titans. Starlight joins the Seven for the first time, and the Deep makes that move on her. Yeah, and
it just makes my skin crawl.
Yeah,
that was handled a lot better than what it was in the comic books as well. Like in the comic book, it's three of them. I think it's A-Train, Homelander, and another one, because the Deep's hardly in the comic books.
Yeah,
but then when it gets brought back around on the Deep later on, like it was somehow more cringe-inducing.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
It actually made me want to vomit when like his gills were being fucked with.
Yeah, that was that was a real horrible bit. Like that was really gross.
I think it's because you see it as well. Like
yeah, you see the hands going into the gills, and it's like very weird, very weird. And then he has that Britney moment right at the end as well.
But that's the thing. Like it takes like something fucking horrible like that, like because they're so disconnected from reality, they don't realize the effect they're having on other people or anything around them until something like that happens to them, and then they're like, oh, like it makes them fucking break down because their entire life image just gets shattered.
Yeah,
like, they've been able to do whatever they want for so long until something gets flipped on them. And
the thing is that's you see it happen with kid actors, and I know that's a really weird parallel to draw, but when someone is in the limelight that much and they're exposed to stuff, then it can have that impact on people. It's a bit like A-Train's Compound V addiction, because he's always needs to be the fastest and the best, and he's got that thing versus Shockwave, and obviously then, he has a heart attack because of the adrenaline that he's taking from Compound V. It's like, well, yeah, that probably would happen. You know what I mean? It's like yeah.
It definitely takes, like you said, like lots of things that like we see in like modern day celebrity culture and stuff like that, like the really dark aspects of it, and it just dials it up to 1,000 just there, like, and it takes a while for you to have to like step back and be like, shit, this shit actually happens. Like this is happening to like supposed superheroes or the villains of the show.
Yeah,
like,
and then on a more lighter note, it takes their powers and applies them to real life. Like not only real life stuff happening to them, but their powers and how they would actually act. So like Homelander's essentially Superman, and when he uses his laser vision and it just literally chops people in half, it's like, and when he punches someone, he punches through them. It's like, yeah, well, that is exactly what would happen if somebody had that, if Superman was in the real world. It's like
they keep trying to do like, what if Superman was evil? What if Superman was real type thing? Like we had Brightburn as well, came out last year as well. Like
yeah,
it's like it's not an original idea, but Homelander just nails it well. Of just there, like, what if somebody had all this unlimited fucking power and they had the world's biggest company behind them and the fucking government and everything like that? Like, there's no way that guy isn't fucked up in the head. Like, there's no way that he hasn't got serious fucking issues and just does whatever the fuck he wants when he wants.
Yeah, and I like how that progresses throughout season 1. And then at the end,
you see him like unravel, like the facade comes off as the season goes on.
Yeah, literally, and then you realise like why he is the way he is, and you almost like there's a point in season 1 where you almost feel in a weird way a little bit sorry for Homelander, because yeah, he's a bad person, don't get me wrong, but the reason why he's so bad is because of, you know, what happened to him and how people treat him. And that he was lied to about his kid, and that probably would turn someone crazy. But obviously, the way he goes around stuff is obviously terribly wrong. But
it's that concept of infinite power corrupts. No, absolute power corrupts absolutely, doesn't it? Like,
yeah,
there's no one that can stand up to him. Like, there's a really interesting bit where he's talking with Queen Maeve, Queen Maeve, whatever her name is. You know, when they take out the sniper, Like, they're not meant to kill the guy. Like, they can take him out without doing anything about it.
Yeah.
And he just goes up there and just kills him straight away.
Well,
He's like,
yeah.
he shot at us first, didn't he? Like, but, like, on the way there, he's saying it's just like, they're just, like, a bunch of, like, small, insignificant, normal people. Why do we answer to them? Like, why did they pull the strings on everything? I think Maeve's just there, like, because they signed the paychecks, and that's literally what it all comes down to in that world, is the fact that Vought signs the paycheck and they signed a fat one.
I love that scene where they're both just walking past all the shooting, and then they're just like, it's like they're just having a conversation, and there's that SWAT guy who's like, "Go get him, Homelander," and he's just like putting his thumbs up to him, and he like flies up, and then he's just waiting, and then they just carry on the conversation, and then just, you know, people just don't bat an eyelid to any of it. No. But it's quite funny at that bit, because I do notice, like, this obviously, and it goes without saying, there's so many parallels to the DC universe in this. It's literally a parody of the DC, the Justice League, really.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But
like,
even
the Seven is the Justice League. There's many ties to Marvel as well, but it is mostly just there, like, the Seven or the JLA. That's all you need to know.
And that's it. It's like, you've got the Deep, who's Aquaman. You've got A-Train, who's the Flash. You've got Homelander's Superman. I'm going to assume Black Noir's like a really strange Superman. Well, we saw Batman. Sorry, is what I meant. And you know, you've got Translucent, but he gets offed off right at the beginning. But like, there's a lot of really subtle, like the bit where Homelander punches through that guy's chest. The only thing I think of the Injustice bit where Superman punches through. Is it
the Joker?
The Joker's chest. Oh,
that comic panel is just ingrained in my memory.
Yeah, little things like that, and I liked how we didn't see a lot of Black Noir in season 1, because it obviously focused more on, you know, the A-Train and Homelander. And I really like how in season 2 we're gonna get a lot more of Black Noir in action, and the bits that you do get with Black Noir, like in season 1, are just dead funny. Like when he sat round the table at the HQ, and Homelander walks in and is like, basically, "You've all been, you know, making mistakes, and it's not good enough." And then he's like, "Except you, Black Noir, you've been awesome." And then he just puts his thumb up at him. And then he like sits down and like plays
the good boy in the corner, isn't he? But
that's it, yeah.
Mate, his story, if they do anything like what it is in the comic books, like, it's gonna get so fucking weird and dark in season 2.
I like how he's the guy who we got the first look at season 2, and it was essentially Black Noir taking out that
superpowered terrorist.
Yeah, that superpowered terrorist from the last one. And it's just so brutal. And yeah, I just think he's definitely gonna be a lead for season 2. I can't wait.
Definitely. Should we start talking about maybe some predictions of where season 2 might go? Or is there anything that you want to cover with season 1 right now before we get onto that?
No, there was, like, I at times I thought with this, you know, there's loads of really funny bits and there's loads of really heavy bits. So, like, I think some of the scenes that stuck out for me was that bit where the Deep tries to rescue the dolphin, and he's like talking to it, and the dolphin's trying to like chat him up at the same time.
Yeah, it's a proper horny dolphin.
Yeah, and there's the bit with the lobster and stuff. Like, he has a lot of comedic parts in it when he gets sent off to that place that no one goes to or whatever.
Just this backwater town which is mostly landlocked.
yeah. And I like how it still enables people like Huey and Billy Butcher and stuff to, even though they're not superpowered, that they're quite clever in how they go around it.
See, I think Huey is a lot better in the show than he is in the comic book.
Yeah, he probably is, because, you know, but
he's a lot more intentional with stuff. Like, they throw him in at the deep end in this. Like, in the comic book, they don't take on the Seven until ages into the comic book, because they take out smaller teams and stuff, so it allows him to become more competent. But the fact that he just sort of like stumbles through it to begin with in the show, like, it feels a bit more earned, like, every step that he gets. But, like, his first kill in the comic book is a complete accident, whereas in the show, like, he blows Translucent the fuck up, like, on purpose.
And tries
like,
to
that just
electrocute him.
changes his character instantly. It's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that he chooses to blow the shit out of this guy.
Yeah. And the last, like, scene that I just want to talk about that really, like, was a standout moment was the airplane. The bit where the plane's going down and Homelander and Queen Maeve decide, well, more like Homelander, they decide not to save the plane because it's too far too gone.
Yeah, and it's his own fault as well. He's so careless, like, because it's just like another job for him. He just like lasers through that guy. He's like, oh, fucked up the cockpit. Like, this plane's going down.
Yeah. So really, that's it. We should move on then and talk about some predictions for season 2. So, do you kind of want to start us off, considering you know a little bit more about the boys than what I do?
Yeah, I reckon
potential spoilers.
Obviously, we don't know anything that's happening. I know one thing that's probably definitely going to happen, but I might not touch on that properly because that's going to be big spoilers, and I think you don't want that spoiled for you, Sam. So I won't get into it too much, but I feel like the thing that I'm not going to say too much is we're going to see a lot more of Black Noir and maybe see who's under the mask as well, which is a really interesting concept.
Okay.
We're also going to find out some dark stuff about Stormfront, I reckon. Like, she is a version of a male character from another team in the comic books.
Okay.
Who's basically like a neo-Nazi. You see hints of that in the trailer, so I reckon we're definitely going to get some funky stuff from her. What do you reckon's going to happen? Like, what's your like big thing?
I don't know, man, because we don't have a really like any sort of a clue as to where it leads off with where it leads us off between Billy Butcher and the Homelander. I don't know. I don't know whether maybe we're going to see some stuff happen earlier on with that, and then maybe it moves away from it. Like I said, I think Black Noir's definitely going to have a much more front and center role in season 2. As to why, I don't know. Maybe because of what Homelander did in season 1, where he kills obviously the one of the senior members of, is it Vaughn?
Vought. Yeah.
Vought.
Yeah.
Maybe Black.
I can't remember the name of her character. She was great in it though. She was fantastic in season 1. Like the fact that she was able to just stare down the biggest heroes in the world that could just kill her in a second.
Yeah. So I don't know whether it's
that took balls, like that character.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. I don't know whether it's going to be maybe something like Black Noir finds out and he gets tasked with hunting down Homelander or something. Maybe something
That's
like
an
that.
Interesting thought, actually.
I think maybe we'll get a bit more of Kimiko. I think maybe Frenchie and Mother's Milk and stuff will be wanting to find where Billy is and where he's gone to. And I think maybe you'll see more of Kimiko's arc. I don't really know where, because I forgot where Starlight had been left off, and she kind of saves Huey because A-Train having the heart attack and all that.
Yeah, so Huey got himself kidnapped to get Frenchie and Mother's Milk and Kimiko out.
Yeah.
And then he was like stood up against A-Train, and then Starlight came in, saved him, but she stayed behind to try and save A-Train. But I think at the moment she is still a member of the Seven, isn't she?
Yeah,
she managed to like cover up any allegations that she was anything to do with Translucent, because she wasn't anything to do with Translucent.
Yeah. Now it's been confirmed that Lamplighter's back, and it's Shawn Ashmore that's playing him. He's going to be.
He played Iceman in the old X-Men films.
Yeah, so he's back in season 2, I believe. So, yeah, it'll be good.
I love all the memes just there. Like, you either live long enough to, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Jesus Christ, that got too mixed up in my head. Yeah. Like he became everything he sought to destroy when he was fighting Pyro in the X-Men films.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I like how I don't really have many predictions, because if you've not read the comics or seen anything like you have, then you don't really know what to expect. And I kind of feel that same way about things like The Umbrella Academy. And I really sat there when I was rewatching The Boys, and I was like, do I enjoy this more than The Umbrella Academy? And I think I actually do. I don't know what it is about The Boys that won it over for me over Umbrella Academy, but I'd say that first season of The Boys is better than both seasons of Umbrella Academy.
See, I'm the opposite end. I think Umbrella Academy is better than The Boys.
Yeah.
I think The Boys is great, but I just prefer the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, maybe I gave myself a bit of Umbrella Academy fatigue after I'd watched the 2 seasons right after each other. But
I'm literally just about to finish season 2 again with the girlfriend. We've got 1 episode left to go, and I really enjoy it. I'm enjoying rewatching season 2.
And that's not to discredit Umbrella Academy, by the way, because I really enjoyed it. But it was just like, for me, they're both quite similar kind of things, I guess.
Sam's only saying it to try and get that Amazon money. He really wants that affiliate link, so he thinks if he says that Amazon Prime shows are better than Netflix shows, we'll get the Amazon
well,
link.
If you asked me 2 months ago...
I'm going to stay on the Netflix side, so we might get a Netflix endorsement.
If you asked me 2 months ago, I would have been gunning for that Disney Plus sponsorship, mate. But yeah...
I reckon we might see The Boys tinkering with Compound V. So like I said, Mother's Milk in the comic book has superpowers, but he seems dead against it in the show. But Frenchie wants to give it a dabble, so I reckon we might see The Boys dabbling with Compound V and getting superpowers going
That'd be pretty
face
cool.
with him.
Could you imagine Billy Butcher with superpowers?
It'd be fucking diabolical, to use his own words.
It would. He would become the villain, I reckon, if he was given superpowers, because something would have to push him to the edge for him to do something like that.
Could you imagine him getting superpowers, even if it's temporary? Because, like, I think Compound V, when you're an adult, you need to, like, constantly take it to, like, keep superpowers. You know how, like, A-Train is, like, juicing on it?
Yeah.
I think you would have to constantly keep taking it, so he might temporarily get it. Could you imagine him, like Homelander tries to fight him thinking that he's just a human, and then fucking Billy Butcher's got superpowers as well?
And then Black Noir comes in and kills them both.
Oh, Black Noir, man. I'm excited to see what they do with that. Also, the whole thing with Homelander and his kid and stuff like that, that's completely different from in the comic books, so I don't know where that's going to go. In the comic books, the baby kills Becca, and then Butcher kills the baby, like, as soon as it's born. So this is a completely new storyline.
Jeez.
Like, Homelander didn't know anything about the kid or anything like that, so...
I mean,
like, I don't have a clue where that storyline's going to go.
It was probably maybe a bit much for TV.
I mean, he did grab a baby by the neck and, like, fucking use it as a fucking gun. And then I believed he just sort of tossed it to one side at one point, didn't he? Like, he clearly doesn't care about superhero babies.
No. But we've got The Boys Season 2 premiering on August 28th. Oh, no, there's a Prime Rewind inside The Boys will begin on the 28th. And then as of September 4th.
Is it 4th again?
Yep.
Everything's coming out that week.
September the 4th, the Season 2 of The Boys will start, and then it'll be 3 episodes available on day 1, and then it'll be an episode every Friday until October the 9th, which is the final episode. I kind of just want to binge
it, but
I know,
at the same time, it'll give... We'll have to wait a while to do a full roundup then, won't we?
Yeah, well, this is the problem, is, like, do we do the first 3 episodes of The Boys, or do we just wait till we've seen the whole thing? I think maybe we probably should wait till we've seen the whole thing, because...
Yeah, we could probably give our first impressions of the first 3 episodes, like, during an episode about something else, and then wait until the final season.
Sounds like a plan.
Season finale, not the final season.
Man with the plan.
Anything else you want to say about The Boys before we wrap this up? This is a nice, concise episode this time.
Yeah, no, it's sick. It's sick. If for whatever reason you've listened to this and not gone and watched it and just listened to all those spoilers, then go give it a watch, because even though we spoiled it for you, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. Also, shout out to the Boys 7 posting on Facebook. It's like a shit posting group. They are worse than the show on that Facebook group.
The Boys 7
do not
posted.
do not look at it if you're easily offended. It's absolutely diabolical, but it's so funny.
All the S posting pages on Facebook, just Star Wars Sith posting, Marvel Shield posting.
It's stuff that you would never be able to get away with putting in the show. It's just so funny.
That's something that I'm going to go and
it's just a
join.
constant meme generator. I can send you an invite if you need one.
Just for the listeners again, what was it called? And for
the
me?
Boys 7 posting.
The Boys 7 posting.
They cross over with like the Cornetto trilogy posting, and like you said, like I like Spider-Man shit slinging as well. It's all based around the Raimi trilogy. They don't do anything but the Raimi trilogy, and people keep like putting their own subtitles over the film and like making like new headcanons and stuff like that. And it just culminated the other day where all these different stories came through a portal to a version of Spider-Man in jail. It's like Nick Fury, Peter Parker was like collecting his version of the Avengers. It was bizarre.
Amazing.
Into the shit-slinging universe.
Right, that's us done for another week, I reckon.
Yeah.
Make sure you check us out, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at GetRealPod. You can email us at getrealpoduk@gmail.com. Took me a second then, I got a little bit lost. And hit us up, let us know what you think of The Boys, share your thoughts with us, let us know what your predictions are for season 2, let us know what you want us to talk about next week. And well, next week we're going to be talking all about DC fandom, so make sure you check in for that. Chris, how can listeners support us on the podcast?
You can support us by clicking that Amazon affiliate. No, we don't. We don't have one at the time of this recording. Share us with a friend. Leave a review, leave a favourite, 5 stars wherever you listen to the podcast. Just share that about with as many people as you can. Spotify has inbuilt ways inside of the app or the web browser to share it and everything like that. Just post it to your Instagram story. Tell one friend that you know about us. That should be the challenge for every listener. Go and tell one friend about us. One friend that doesn't listen to us, tell them to listen to us. Honestly, it goes such a long way. Israel, we love you for getting us in your top 100 podcasts. It's great. Our listeners in Germany and India, you're amazing. Also, there's a Wisecrack YouTube video about the philosophy of The Boys, which is really interesting. I meant to mention it earlier, but I completely forgot. That's not a way to support the podcast, but that's a way to support another good creator, so do that. Absolutely. And thanks for listening. I think that's it.
See ya. That's it, we're done.
That's it, we're done. Drop mic, walk away, you know?
Yeah, no, for real.
Before I laser vision the shit out you all.
I'm going to run away from you. See you later.